everyone asks me like, "Oh, who is your hardest opponent?" Everyone always just automatically assumes Conor because it's Conor McGregor. But man, in all honesty, Conor would have been an easy fight if I was in shape. Aldo is way more athletic, explosive, strong, has great jiu-jitsu and unbelievable striking. Where Conor's game at that point was striking. When I would take him down, he was the type of guy that made an easy fight for a guy like me, where he would just hold
Right.
on. And I could sit there and elbow. I could take my time. I could rest. But man, I just fought Aldo, was taking time out of the gym for a long time because that was the hardest fight I'd ever gone
Hmm.
through. I mean, I pissed blood that night when I got back to the hotel. Like my legs, my feet, my hands, my whole body from head to toe was in pain for like 2 months after that fight.
Dude.
So, I wasn't in the gym training a ton. And I get a call from my managers like, hey, Aldo's out. We need you to step in. I'm 25 pounds over. It's 10 days notice. And so they're like, you think you can make weight? And I'm like, dude, how am I going to pass this up? It's for a title. Like, it's Conor. Yeah, let's do it. So just went to work, starving, dehydrating, made the weight, got in there. And really, like I said, would have been an easy fight, being able to do that for 5 rounds. But I just didn't have the gas tank, man, which sucks. But it's one of those things I wish I could redo, but I don't think it would ever happen.
Yeah.
But it is, man. I gotta look at that fight and find the positives in it. Like it helped grow my brand tremendously. My brand exploded after that. I feel like I went in there and did the best that I could on such a short amount of time. But looking back on it and what I'm doing now outside of the octagon, even though I'm still fighting, but uh, it's helped a ton with everything. All my other businesses, which as much as I want to be pissed at Conor. It's like it helped.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, the red panty night, that's what people were
Yeah, oh
getting in the Conor
yeah.
McGregor days, and
Uh-huh.
it's crazy to watch because like you said, I think everybody that watched that fight has this open loop in the mind of Chad Mendes on a full camp takes that fight and takes that belt, and then the what ifs and where's your reign and all of that stuff. But like you said, I think that's a really healthy and positive mindset that you got. There's no point beating the dead horse. You didn't. You still put up a hell of a fight. You was whooping his ass for almost 2 full rounds there before you come essentially off the couch on 10 days notice and cut 25 pounds. And I think you did yourself proud, man. But kind of crazy to think about what could have been. But two of the names you mentioned there, Aldo and Connor, they have like this aura about them, right? Like, what's it like standing across the octagon from people that just carry like larger than life personalities? Is that a thing that's going through your mind? Do you feel the pressure of the eyeballs, the Conor McGregor fight just being the biggest fight, the money fight, the eyeballs? Is that different to fights that when you was coming up, or did you try and stay that it was all the same for you and you just had a job to do? Did it get to you?
No, I mean, I think every fight in the UFC, I would pretty much feel the same. Like it's the biggest platform. You got millions of eyeballs watching you every single time, and everybody that makes it to the UFC is good.
Yeah.
So obviously a guy like Aldo or Clay Guida or Connor or any of these big name guys that you get in there and fight, you in my mind I prepare a little bit differently mentally going into that. I mean, this is somebody that's been to war, that has the background that I have, like my wrestling background. If there was a belt system, I'd be a black belt. They're same thing in their world. And you got these top level guys that have spent their entire lives training a specific thing or certain things, and it's like what's going to be the bigger like have the better outcome when you get in there and fight. Like is the wrestling going to be able to overtake? Is the
Mm-hmm.
mental side of being able to push through pain and grit and push the pace, is that going to overtake somebody's technique and explosiveness or power, whatever it may be? And so you got to really game plan mentally for each individual fighter. This is his strengths, this is his weakness or weaknesses, and then you just got to kind of go in there and know that. And then once you're staring at him across the cage, obviously all that stuff and all that training and preparation, both mentally, physically, is already done.
Yeah.
You just have fun. You look at him, it's like it's go time, man. It's time to take the test. You just studied,
Dude.
for weeks or months, and that test is sitting right in front of you. You gonna crush it or you gonna fold? So
It's
Yeah.
huge, man. I'm getting goosebumps as you're saying that because I competed in mixed martial arts on a super small level. My biggest fight was for like a rinky-dink amateur UK title. I think there was probably like 500 people in this sports hall, but like half of them were my crowd, half were the other person's crowd. Like I was the underdog, and it just like everything you just said is like, yeah. And now I'm
Oh
trying to
yeah.
think about, okay, now times that by a million and put it all on the line and have it be Conor McGregor. And I'm like, hell yeah, dude. Like just
Yeah,
wild stories, man.
yeah, and I guess I still get nervous I got nervous before every single fight. Like
Yeah.
standing there, that cage closes. It's like you have nerves, but I think that's good. Like I think a certain amount of nerves keeps you aware, keeps your
Yes.
reactions fast and on point. Uh, it's that fight or flight, and you have no choice but to fight
That's right.
unless you just immediately give up, which nobody really ever does. So yeah, it's crazy, dude. Those nerves, like people ask all the time, like, what is it like walking out for a big UFC fight or a big fight, and then standing in there and looking at your opponent for 3 to 5 minutes before the fight actually
Hmm.
starts? Crazy, man. I don't think there's anything on earth that I've ever experienced that compares.
Yeah.
You know, I relate a lot of stuff to hunting and fishing, more hunting than anything as far as the preparation and game planning and stuff like that, and being dedicated and disciplined. But there's never the same feeling of that, because you don't think about it a ton, but there's always the back of your head, like you could get hurt, like
Yeah.
there's a possibility, and things could be different after this, and you try not to think about that too much, but it's there.
Yeah.
You just got to push through that and know that, again, it's that fight or flight, and it's time to fight, baby. got a guy right there that's going to try to kill me, and I'm going to try to kill him, and the ref's going to stop him before it happens. So, uh, yeah, it's a crazy feeling.
All right, friends, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Radical Health Radio. We got a fresh new podcast for you every Wednesday. If you enjoyed the show, consider liking, subscribing, reviewing, and rating us on your podcast platform. It helps to spread this message of radical health. We'll see you next week.